Hello and welcome back, LPGrodus here with more Final Fantasy IV Advance for the Game Advance. In the last episode we started the adventure, or the game rather, and Kain and Cecil was banned. Well, Cecil was relieved from his post as the commander of the Red Wings, and Kain was forced to go with Cecil for his new assignment. You wish to go to Mist Valley? You must head to the cavern northwest of Baron. But before we do anything, we're gonna head for the found a potion for the store to the city to buy a few things. If you're journeying far, you mustn't forget to bring potions and antidotes and tents along. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Phoenix Downs. Actually, let's buy two. They're gonna come handy here. Maiden's Kiss. We don't really need that just yet, and potion we can find. Although I suppose we can find Phoenix Downs as well, but they're gonna come in handy. Make sure to look in pots, by the way, because that's where you most likely will find items in cities and whatnot. I sense that something bad will happen if the mist is attacked. Beware the mist. That's actually a tip for something on later on. Let's see, inside of here we have the Devil's Corridor, I think. No, the Devil's Road, okay. The Devil's Road leads to Mysidia, but it has remained closed since the Mysidians sealed their end. Baron once actively traded with Mysidia via this path. It is no longer in use. The stairs led to the training room. So we're gonna go down here, and in the training room, that's essentially the tutorial.
Well, hello! Do you wish to change your name?
No.
Very well! If you ever change your mind, I'm always at your service.
Yeah, naming way over there, he can actually make you change your name. And these are just hints about the game, but don't really need that. I have beaten the game several times after all.
The king is gravely mistaken in order his men to master the dark sword.
Yeah, but that's his choice. That door is locked. We'll be able to unlock it later on in the game, so don't worry about that. This is Rosa's home, I believe. Cecil, can you tell my father to stop pulling all-nighters? He's been confrontational lately and he doesn't listen to me anymore. He's been arguing a lot with some of the townspeople too, because they're always bad-mouthing the king and the soldiers. At least I do believe this is Rosa's house. Apparently we built... yeah, it is. I did it! I built a new engine! So yeah, this is Sid and Sid and Rosa's house. I talked with you. The armor shop is locked apparently, so we're not allowed to buy any new armors or weapons. Oh, this is apparently Rosa's mother's house. I hear the king and you boys are up to no good these days. Whatever it is you're all doing, keep Rosa out of it, you hear? Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. Gonna try and keep her out of here. And inside of here we find another person hiding. That building over yonder on the west side leads to an old waterway that goes all the way to the castle. But I reckon it's always locked. Yeah, maybe not always. I can't stop thinking about Dark Knights. They're cool! And by cool I mean totally sweet! Okay. No, I didn't spread any bad rumors about the king. Really? I'll show you something neat in return if you keep your mouth shut. This is a dancing girl. Talk with them and they dance. With some interesting music. I'm not a big fan of this theme myself, but eh. And yeah, we can also jump down here for treasure, I believe. Yep, we found a tent down there. In a hidden treasure chest. And we also found an hourglass. Now, hourglass, those items will cost stop, I think, in battles. And of course, tent, I've already explained what they do. So that's essentially everything we can do in the shop so far. We could go down here, but there's essentially nothing down there. So there's really no reason for me to do that. You know what, I'm actually gonna save, I think. Oh yeah, now I remember. I bought this game used. So, yeah. I completely forgot about that, so this is essentially a couple of spoilers. Just forget about them if you haven't played the game before. It's not me that have played this game so far. And now this game also has random encounters, so yeah, just attack away when you end up in an encounter. And of course you get gil and EXP after battles, just as any other Final Fantasy game. Of course not all of them do give you that, but most of them do. With the jump command you will first jump in the air as that, and then you will wait for a few seconds and you'll come down from above and deal a lot of damage. So that is what the jump ability does. And of course the jump ability is bound to Kain. He's the only one that can use the jump command. Okay, Helldiver. Which is also a new enemy. Now Dark will attack all enemies with dark energy. However, it will also drain some of your HP, so use it as... When you use it at your own risk, essentially. And we have our very first belt cut out of the game, or Let's Play, or the episode. Encounter 3 goblins. And apparently fight again. Now, goblins can actually drop an item that is called Goblin if you stay and farm them long enough. I think I've managed to loot it once, but yeah, it's far from worth it in my opinion. And I'm gonna save over here. Boom. Alright, this game actually has a limited amount of items. So unlike Final Fantasy VI, I can't really hoard items in this game. For better or for worse. And key items will also end up here, which is a bit annoying. But you can't really do much else about it. And of course we can change the order of the characters. And we can also change the row which they are in. Row 1, 3 and 5 will always be in the front, and row 4 and 2 will always be in the back, unless you press the row command, which will replace them. Anyhow, here we are at the Mist Cave. So we have a dungeon. And of course config we've already been at. Status, we can see their MP, how close they are to a new level. What they have equipped. And of course their stats. And we can also see if they're right-handed or left-handed. If they're left-handed, you probably want to equip the weapon in that hand. And look at that, we're already in a battle with a sword rat and 3 goblins. Let's see, you can defend and switch row by putting on the right and left. Okay, apparently you cannot switch order of attack in this game. I was certain that you could, but sadly you can't, apparently. Okay, that killed everybody except the sword rat. But yeah, that's good to know that, you know, you can't switch over to another character for their turn. So you kind of have to plan out your attacks a little bit better with that in mind. Oh, Insectus, new enemy, again. Although enemies here at the beginning of the game are quite weak, so for the most cases you will take them down in one attack. You shouldn't worry too much about taking damage here. And look at that, Cecil gain a level. The only thing you really... Wow, I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to be a thing. Now, one thing to note is that... I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, I do know what I'm talking about, but I'm not sure what I was going for. Turn back! What? Who's there? And we have a treasure chest, a potion. Now, you cannot save whenever you want in dungeons. You can only do that in on the world map. There are special locations where you will be able to save and use tent in dungeons. But more about that when it actually becomes relevant. So, the sword rat can actually use needles, which is an attack. Okay, much Phoenix down and no, never mind, here's sword. But even separately, apparently lower, puts them in separate areas. Anyhow, the sword rat has an attack called Needle. And what that attack does, well, it shoots a couple of needles at you, which damage quite a lot, so be careful with that attack. So what I'm trying to say here is that there are enemies that actually will deal quite a lot of damage if they use the right attack for it, I mean. But other than that, you shouldn't worry about the enemies here too much. But having a potion or two at hand is helpful, to say the least. Okay, let's see what's inside this treasure chest. A tent, okay. Now, the encounter rate, the random encounter rate, a preemptive strike, that means we'll fight, or we'll attack first. What was I going at? I can't exactly remember. We got to that preemptive attack. Oh yeah, now I remember, the random encounters. Now the random encounter rate, attack the sword rat first by the way, as it deals the most damage. The encounter rate of enemies will vary depending on the dungeon. In some dungeons you will encounter more enemies, in some dungeons you will encounter less enemies. So keep that in mind as well. And as it comes to random battles, I will cut out some, I will keep some. Leave at once! Could that be the Beast of the Mist Valley? It's possible. Knights of Baron! Who are you? Leave now, or suffer the consequences. Show yourself. You choose to ignore my warnings? Yes, I do. We have to get to Mist. We're not turning back. So be it. The mist is gathering. Yeah, it sure is. And this is the Mist Dragon, the very first boss in the game. I do believe it's weak to dark. I could be wrong though. Let's see. 15 probably is weak. Probably is not weak against it then, so we should not use it. Anyhow, this spell is quite easy. There's one attack that you need to look out for. And you know what? I'm gonna showcase it regardless. But just keep on attacking. His physical attacks don't do that much damage. This is actually a quite easy boss, which will also learn you about something, and that was a critical hit. When it flashes like that, it means you'll get a critical hit. So keep that in mind. Now this Mist Dragon actually has an attack called Mist Storm, I believe, which is very dangerous. It damages both Kain and Cecil, and it does about 120 damage, I believe. So when it says the dragon turn to miss, do not attack. Sadly, I did. Okay, Cold Mist it's called. Oh, never mind. Attacking the miss is futile. Yeah, I can't really read that. It's too fast for me. But when it gets to this, just defend. This is supposed to teach you about the defend command in the game. And to teach you that some enemies actually have ways of defending themselves. Although not very many bosses of the game does something like this. But many of the bosses have different gimmicks. Also, returning to the Mist attack now, okay. Now the cartridge that I'm using is actually imported from the US. In fact, all of my Final Fantasy Advance copies of the game is imported from the US. And look at that, Kain gained a new level, but not Cecil apparently. But there we go, that's the very first boss battle. And I could go and enter Mist, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna save the game instead. So just like that, we have saved. And for those who are wondering how many times I will upload Final Fantasy IV each week and when I will upload it, I'm thinking of actually uploading 5 episodes a week, and that means 1 episode through Monday to Friday. So that's that. Anyhow, I shall end off the episode now. So this has been LPGrodus. Thank you very much for watching. Stay frogger one, and I hope to see you next time, or for the next episode. See you then, everybody. See ya.